All right, how's it going, everybody? It's Paulie. So, up this morning, real early. Sorry for the unpresentableness, but we're here today. I'm here today to show you this cool little exercise, this warm-up exercise that I've been doing in this sketchbook here for a little over a month now. I think it's a really fun exercise. As I'm flipping through the sketchbook showing the past diary or exercise entries, if you will, I wanted to share the verse of the day. And the verse of the day is going to be Hebrews 13 verse 8, which says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. No truer words have been spoken. Amen. It takes about 10 to 12 minutes for me to complete this exercise. I could always extend that time too, but with the time we have right now, I'm just gonna do like a 10 to 12 minute demo. And yeah, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna start the day with a little warm-up exercise, warm-up painting exercise. All right. So I have a few painting tubs that I got from a work site or a job that I was working on with a few other artists on a mural. We used a bunch of acrylic paint. They had a whole bunch of leftovers, so they gave us the option to bring home some jars of paint or some pints of paint. All right. Got our two brushes that we're going to be working with. All right, so I like to do these little exercises in the morning where I just grab like a reference that I think is really cool. I've been using a lot of pre-split like rock formations, different rock cliff faces, and different like just terraform imagery. Okay, I think I found something interesting here. Got enough fun colors to work with, a lot of interesting shapes going on. So I usually start myself with gathering that image, that reference image, and then I start my timer, and then we're off to the races. All right, so I usually just try to like create like a little border for myself. All right, and then I just start, finding that composition. So I wanted to share this warm-up exercise with you because I think it is fun. I just really love the joy of mark making, and I wanted to share that and give you a little exercise that I've been doing. See if you want to give it a try, give it a whirl, and yeah, I think it's been super fun. Like, I love a lot of the results too. It's a lot different than what I usually paint, how I usually paint, and get some very fun ideas coming out. This is essentially like almost like sketching, where I'm not thinking of, and I'm not thinking of like, fully representing what I see, in a sense that like I'm not trying to, the goal isn't realism. The goal isn't to be as completely accurate as possible, but rather using the reference that I'm looking at as a jumping off point to like just explore different shapes and marks. Just like, how can I best represent this idea, this shape in front of me, this pattern, this rhythm, with this either one brush or maybe two brushes. But how can I best represent that with like either a single stroke or a few strokes, like just getting my mind in the habit of decision making with the brush and having fun while doing so. I think this is like super fun. And I want to share that joy of mark making, This is also super accessible. Like, these are acrylic paints. You could follow along and do the same exercise with like the cheapest things you can find. Because once again, this isn't like, I'm not trying to sell these pieces, right, as of right now. But I'm not trying to make money off of these pieces. I'm not trying to make the most beautiful painting or anything like that. This is literally me just trying to warm up my mind, my hand, my arm as well. I'm using my arm to just get day started with mark making. And you know, if this is your cup of tea aesthetically, then you know, by all means, like, have at it. But I really love using references of nature and just like the pre-split rocks and sometimes the tree bark as well. Like, they're super fun to like those shapes that naturally occur or have been man-made are like super fun to try and capture. Yeah, I'm not even worried about like trying to represent exactly what it is that I'm seeing. Because once again, this is not like a representational piece, nor is it a piece to sell, but rather a sketch in a sketchbook, or a warm-up in a sketchbook to just get my mind going. So I want to speak a little bit to the influence, to my influences as to why I'm doing this as well. So I really love the automatic drawing video that Procro published a while back, and I forget the name of the artist, but obviously I'm going to show that. And just his mastery of how he expresses form with that pencil, you know, it just shows like his like level of draftsmanship and everything like that. And so I love I love how he's able to pull out those forms from just imagination and just have fun with the process of, you know, mark making. It's super neat to just watch. And I just can't wait to get to that level where I'm like producing like I don't even know if it's a sketch, but more so like automatic doodle drawing thing, right? And it be so like just interesting in shape and form. You can just tell the level of mastery he has over, you know, creating an illusionary, like the illusion of 3D form, you know. I wanted to speak to that influence. Once again, yeah, I love nature. I've been like really in depth, or I've been really digging and just looking at the different rhythms in nature, like the tree bark, not even just like, you know, how beautiful a tree is in a landscape amidst everything else around it, like the sky and the grass and other trees and whatnot, but as well as like just how ornate nature feels, you know, like you look at a tree and its bark and just how much like rhythm and waves that are going on. It's like super fun. Or even like the small in between shapes of like pebbles on a pathway and everything. What else? Yeah, like a field of, what is it, bunny hair grass, just how tall the shapes are of their stalks or whatever it is, their stems, versus like the fluffy circles of the actual flower. Like it's so interesting, super fun to look at. I'm low-key doing something I usually don't do, which is use two brushes, but there are some fine shapes, some fine smaller shapes that I'm looking at that I wanted to record because I think they're interesting. But I'm not, once again, I'm not trying to be super precious with this painting, with this exercise rather. It's not to be like a painting, but more so something to have fun mark making. I can't stress enough how much fun it is. Like, you know, sometimes I am a little sad as to like, you know, or I guess, I don't know, like I can't express enough how much fun it is to just be able to like paint. And I just hope that comes across with like me sharing something as maybe intimate as a morning exercise warm-up, my warm-up, you know, at the expense of like, you know, maybe people think that this is going to be like all that it is that I paint or whatever. But I think it's worth it because sharing the joy of mark making is like, I think pivotal now, especially with like AI and how much we are giving up our natural, you know, arts, our human arts that God has given us to machines, and giving up that you know, process of thinking and working through and being creative. I really want to stress the emphasis of, or, you know, stress the point that, you know, we got to stay creative, and that creativity comes from us. It doesn't come from a machine, doesn't come from, you know, whatever else. It comes from God. And we are made in His image and likeness. And so, you know, the creativity that these machines are built off of, though, are from our creative exploits, our writing, our music, our drawings, our paintings. Yeah, just how we speak to one another. It's all been trained off of our creativity. And so we got to take that back in however form we can, by just, you know, either doing an exercise like this, or maybe writing, journaling, dancing, singing, making music, finally picking up guitar, right? And learning. I feel like the more we give up our creative arts, the more we distance ourselves from one another. Because I am of the opinion that art is how we communicate. It's another form of how we communicate. It's a language. Visual painting is a language, dancing is a language, writing is a language, making music is a language. You know, these are all ways of how we communicate with one another. Sometimes it, you know, transcends the bounds of, you know, verbal, or like, you know, verbal language of like, you know, I'm sure a Jamaican person can relate to, I don't know, a Chinese person via like just having fun dancing and rhythms and different artwork and whatnot. And, you know, that, I don't know, that's where my mind went to, those two, you know, distinct races, whatever else. I should probably stop talking before I get, I don't know, canceled for something or other. I don't know. But yeah, that is the timer. Sometimes when I'm in the flow state or whatever else, like where I'm just having too much fun, I can't stop myself at just 10 minutes or 12 minutes. But I don't know if I'll do that today. I don't know if we have enough time. But yeah, this is that little exercise that I want to share with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, thanks for letting me ramble. Thanks for listening to me ramble. If you like today's video, make sure you check out another one where I put my warm-up exercise to good use. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. God bless. Bye-bye.